Hi everyone, this video is going to be showcasing the exact cover letter and resume I used to get my job at Goldman Sachs. I made a previous video discussing how I was able to get a job there, from recruiting to interviews, and I also spoke about cover letters and resumes. So in this video, I'm actually going to showcase the exact cover letter and resume I used, so you guys can feel free to copy the format or to take some pieces of it that you want so you can do your application as well. I changed some names and dates there just so you guys, for privacy reasons, but feel free to use this exact replica of the format I used. This is geared for summer internship resumes, but you can also use this for full-time resumes if you make some tweaks, and I'll be talking about that in the video as well. Okay, so this is my actual resume. Obviously, I changed personal details, dates, things like that, places I've worked, just for privacy information. So to get started with my actual resume, you can see obviously on top, I just have very biographical information, name. So city and state, you're gonna wanna include just your city and state. You're not gonna wanna list your apartment number. You don't have to put your whole address, this will be enough. You can put your phone number, your email address. So then the next segment of the resume is going to be your education. If you're applying for summer internship, your education should be on the top portion. If you're applying for a full-time role, you probably want to put your education on the bottom level here instead of skills and interests, because you're leading with your experience, not with your education like you are when you're in school, when you're in college. So you'll put your university name. You want to put when you're expected to graduate and put in parentheses expected, because you haven't received this degree yet. It's very deceiving and they might be confused why you're applying for a summer internship role if you've already graduated college. So definitely include this expected portion in your resume. So the things that I list here, obviously you want to list what your degree is going to be in. I majored in finance and accounting, so that's what I put. You list your GPA. Next, I put my SAT score and I broke out the reading, math, and verbal. So the reason why I did this is because, again, this is something that's usually just for summer internships and for college graduates or college students, because you don't really have much else to fill up your resume yet. So other than your GPA, there's really no academic credential for them to know your academic performance. That's why I put my SAT score there. Okay, so this is something relevant coursework. The reason why I put this in here, again, this is for students and for people applying to summer internships from college. The reason I like to put this in here is because, let's say I'm interviewing with an alum from my college and they're like, wait, I took this business writing class, or I took, so-and-so professor. Which professor did you have? It's a good conversation starter. Another good reason why this may be beneficial to put on here, if you're not a finance major or you're not majoring in accounting or something exactly related to the role that you're applying into, but you did take business related courses, this is excellent because it shows that you have relevant knowledge and relevant academic skills that you can use on the job. So I definitely think this is really great to use, especially if you're applying for a summer internship and you're a college student. Then I also listed some honors and awards if you're on the dean list, things like that, merit scholarships that you received. If you received some special community service award from school, this is probably the best place to put it. So the next portion of the resume is the experience. This is the bulk portion of your resume where you talk about your previous work experience. I used all other summer internships I had. If you have financial experience, like you did an internship for another bank, or you worked at a hedge fund, or you had any finance related internship, this is the place where you're putting it. If you didn't and you work at a camp for a summer, or you don't have really related experience, this is something you should still put in here, because again, you could make it relevant to your experience. But if I would only recommend putting, things that aren't finance related if you don't have a lot of finance experience. I think 3 internships or 3 experiences are good to have. If you don't, 2 is good, but I think no less than 2. So the general rule of thumb is you'll just put the company name here. I, excluded it just for privacy reasons, but you'll definitely put that in there. You'll put your role. And then for every position, city, state, and the months that you worked. And if you have a gap on your resume, it's fine, just state it. Usually if you're in college, they understand that most of your positions are going to be in summer. Like you could see most of the dates on mine are during the summer months, which is totally normal for someone applying for a summer internship position. So once you fill out the top portion of the names of the company and the dates, things like that, you're going to want to provide a synopsis of what you actually did. I like to use bullet points. Some people like to write paragraphs. I just think it's cleaner, it's easier, and most finance resumes I've seen are usually bullet points. So you want to try to get, like, even if you didn't do like such important work during your internship, try to, you know, take the biggest chunks, the biggest projects that you did and place them into the bullet points. You're not going to say, I like photocopied supplies. You're going to try to elevate it and, you know, say things like provided administrative work or assistance, things like that. I think the vocabulary you use in these bullet points is really important. You want to try to like input really financial terms. Like you see, I have like financial reports, budgets, variances, actuals, things like that, just to kind of sound fancy. Again, you're most likely a college student applying for an internship. You're not going to have that much experience, and a lot of people don't even give interns that much work to do. So, you know, here I am saying like generate a daily P&L report. You know, again, here are the financial terms: interest, realized, unrealized financial gains and losses. These are like financial buzzwords. Analyze and validated trade ticket transactions. These are things that you want to show them that, you know, you kind of get the lingo of finance. I think these are pretty much the things that they're looking for. And then, so here, this is the section kind of like, again, a filler. A lot of financial firms, including Goldman Sachs, they want to see that you have leadership positions, that you're actively involved on campus, in your community, etc. So, you know, some people have like 15 clubs that they're a part of, and they come and they get like free pizza. That's not kind of what they want to see. They want to see you have a position. So I was part of like an undergraduate women in business club in my school. I was part of the leadership board for community service. So I spoke about like what I did, and I tied it into like a financial element. Here, organize and plan events with BlackRock and PwC for corporate community service engagement events. So this is showing BlackRock and PwC, they're also large financial corporate employers. These are companies that I'm, you know, networking with, that I'm involved with in the community. It shows that you're making an effort to be in finance. And then at the very bottom of the resume, this is kind of just to fill up space, if you will, but skills and interests. If you have something really unique that you do, like you're a bungee, you know, jumper, or you're an Olympic skier, you know, so this is where you would put it in your interests, like something that you can talk about in an interview. Don't lie, because it can come back to haunt you. They are going to talk to you about these things in an interview, like Mediterranean cuisine. Like you see, I have that listed here in my Goldman Sachs interview. Somebody asked me, what are some recipes that you like to cook with these cuisines? So you need to have this in the back of your mind. Anything that's listed on your resume is fair game for them to ask you about, and as it should be. Also, you want to put your skills. These are some like proprietary software that I used at the internships, or, you know, just Microsoft Office, things like that, basic, I guess, computer systems that you may know. If you know like a coding language like Python or SQL or any of those, you should definitely put that in there. If you have some special skills in Excel or Tableau, definitely this is the place to put it in your skills and interests. And I think that's kind of something that you could talk about in your resume as well. I don't think they're expecting much here. If you have something extra, go for it, but I don't think they're necessarily expecting it. And another caveat, some people put languages in sort of like the skills and interest portion. And if you're not speaking this language fluently, or, you know, if you said business professional, a proficiency, and you don't have it, it's going to be really awkward. So don't do that in a resume if you don't have it. Anyway, so pretty much anything on your resume is fair game. A few more notes about the resume. So it's just black and white. There's no fonts. There's no crazy colors. It's very standard. Everything is lined up together. You know, follows the same format. It has sections that are delineated. You don't want to have just like one blank listing of all your experience. It's good to kind of have these sections. It breaks up the resume. I like the format. It worked well for me, and, you know, this is kind of a standard finance format. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to learn more about my experience at Goldman Sachs, I have a video showcasing the exact cover letter that I used to get a job at Goldman Sachs, and also just the whole overview process of getting a job there with recruiting and interviews, etc. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.